Okay, so it's recording now. Alright, so yesterday we kind of stuck extending the XFS. So the problem was I was running the wrong command first. So, okay, XFS grows, I ran that command later, not first. So we're trying to resize this, right? So, alright, LSVLK. Okay, so recruiting is at 4 GB, and I want to extend two more or one more, whatever. So how are we gonna do that? We're gonna do a VGS first, VGS, and we took a look here, and it says only 4 GB is free. Okay, so we are good. We're gonna extend 2 GB each. So resize to F. So we're gonna use the same command, LV command, LV extend, and then I'm gonna add 2 GB, and then I'm gonna add it to recruiting because recruiting is a XFS file system. Okay, so I do DFF and H, and recruiting is still at 4 GB, but we do LSVLK, and you see recruiting is 6 GB. All right, so it's pretty simple. Okay, now to we've been using a resize to FS for ext4 partitions, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to use XFS grows for ext4. Okay. All right. So the command is XFS underscore grow FS, and then the mount point dev slash mapper slash ZMP recruiting. Okay. Now you do DFF and H, and it's up to 6 GB. So what we did was when we did a plus sign, you did an add method, and then you could do a extend method also. You just type this here, and then instead of adding 2 GB, that will make it 8 GB. We'll just type 8 here. Okay, so it will stop at 8 GB. So it will stretch existing 6 to 8. That's what it means, the extend method. Okay, so it's insufficient. So we'll just do 7 GB. Okay. All right, and then same command, XFS grows. All right, let's do DFF and H, and it's at 7 GB. All right, let me just copy this here. LV extend. Okay, and then let's do extended here. So let's just keep this. You guys could see the screen clearly, right? Should I adjust it or it's okay?
It's good.
Okay.
It's good for me.
All right. Anybody, any issue with the display, let me know. Okay, so now that this is there, now we are to a point, how do we extend the volume group now? Okay, so we got the error message that we cannot extend it anymore because it's running out of the space. So what we're going to do is extend it. Okay. All right, so let's take a VG display. So what's happening here? So let's look at our volume group, and the size over here is what's the size? 24 GB, and we barely have any space left. So we have about 1 GB of space left here, but that's not enough for us. So and then we have 3 physical volume, current volume 4, but what we need is 3 physical volume here. No. Okay, yeah. This is a current and active 3 physical volumes here, but it's not enough space. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to add another disk here. Okay, so for that, in VirtualBox, we have to end up shutting it down, but you don't have to do that in the real world environment because most of the time it's running on a VMware, or you need to add the network file system. So I will do my best to demonstrate network file system, but for now, let's add another disk in here. Okay, so let's see. So we have this 3 extra disks. I'm going to add the 5th one in here. Okay, so all right now let me do cat/etc/tab. Okay, so we didn't made it permanent in the FS tab here, so we could. Okay. accounting is XFS, right? XFS file system. Yeah, EXT. Okay, I'm just making entries into the FS tab. Okay, you see all this in there, which is good. So let me do umount -a, and I do df-h. So nothing there. All our the ones we have. Oh, okay. So this might give us a problem here because I put down as ext4. Actually, it's XFS, right? So I'm removing the spaces. I'm just using the tab. Okay. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that to begin with. So okay. All right. This looks good to me. Human resource recruiting. Okay. So when you're doing this mount a new mount, it's doing it from the FS tab. Okay. DFFNH is not there now. So let me clear this, and I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to create a new disk, and then I'm going to give it 16 GB. Okay. 16 GB. Great. Hard disk storage unit is already exists. I'm going to give it a disk 5, and then SDT, B, C, D, This is going to be SDE actually. So what we did here was, if this is a production box, you just can't simply go around and okay, by the way, somebody will ask you, we need to add another hard drive into the system. Okay, so he says, okay, great. Then what you have to do is you have to check if this is a production box. Production box is something which is running live system, which is, it could be running an internet, it could be running a database, it could be running anything. So you have to make sure to verify that the system you're working on or the host you're working on is a production box. If it's a production box, then you have to follow your company's internal procedures. Okay, so they may involve creating a change request, setting up schedule, and how we did this on a snap in the real world environment. If it's a production box, all these things doesn't happen in a snap. You have to create a schedule, timeline, records, and a lot of other parties will be involved. And then once you do that and everything is approved, then you go ahead and make the changes. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions regarding that, because when you go into your job, I don't want you to be like, if somebody says I need to increase the size, you just don't go in there and do it. Okay. A little careful.
So Zafar, I have a question. So we'll have access to like the servers and stuff like that too, to install or is that a different team who installs the hard drive and stuff?
It's so many different teams. It's just luck of a draw which team you're going to be end up on.
Okay. So we could be on the team where we're installing the drivers, or we could be on the team where we're just troubleshooting and configuring the hard drives. You're saying?
Yeah. So new install is easy because they don't care, right? You're just installing it for the first time and then just letting it go in the environment. New install, everything you install for the first time is going to be a piece of cake, because you don't have to worry about backup, this and that, and worry about breaking the connections. Okay. So the real job, ideal job for you to be in and grow would be a support job, a production support, because you will be dealing a lot of complicated stuff. So if you end up in a build team, all they do is all day long they install, run, and then add some drives in there. That's it, and they give it to some other team, and then they make sure all the system is configured and everything, and then it goes to the database team or any other application team. They do their thing, and then once it says in production, it goes to us. Ideally, that's what you would end up in, and that's where you would learn a lot of complex stuff. Hopefully, you all will be getting in a production environment here. Okay, good. Yeah, and then you will have lot of applications. I mean, obviously emails. You will have email access. You have a change request access. You will have access to ticketing system, and a lot of other legacy internal applications. So they think you need access. You will be provided all those things here. In essence, when you first start, you will end up having at least 10 or 12 logins. Then after that, for a while, you end up getting another few logins every 2 or 3, 6 months. And then when you said and done, you've been in one place for a couple of years, you will have at least 15 to 20 logins. So, I mean, every company, every job is different. So all we have to do is just learn and have all this good knowledge we are gaining, and then hopefully you guys will end up landing it here. So we have all these topics here. If you practice them, then you have good idea what you're talking about, okay? So you won't be doing all this day in and day out. You will be getting a lot of complex stuff, but you will be coming, you know how to do things. And then at the same time, if something is different in the environment, you put in Google and find out. And then, for example, Nick bonding, they may be referring, or they may be using 422, or they may not be using 422. And then they may have, like, instead of devices name, they may have something different. So those are like basic skills and basic knowledge you have to gain and use your head and determine at the moment what you're doing here. Or let's see here, directory structure. No, no, no. You would see in an environment, they would never use fdisk. They may end up using only gdisk. So you'll be surprised if they're doing gdisk, then you just do gdisk instead of fdisk. Or you would see swap. I came across one swap, one system that doesn't have a swap. They actually physically remove the swap in one of the production boxes. I was so surprised, and I checked the cluster. It has about another 30 servers in the same cluster for that group, and none of them have a swap in there. So I checked with some application team, and they said that's how they wanted it. So I was really surprised. They don't want a swap memory in their system. But the regular memory, they had it about 32 GB. So I'm not sure why they would never want it, but if they are monitoring it 24/7 and they keeping eye on it, I mean, they are highly maintained. So I suppose they probably don't need swap here, or they don't want anything to going on swap because it may slow down the system. Okay, so let me connect back here. Oh, let me start it first. Hmm. What the? Alright, I'll make it good when I'm done. Okay, so let me get back in here. Okay, so we have a new disk, 16 GB, and it's SDE. Okay, in reality, guys, this usually we are dealing with 16 or 8 GB, anything like this. But in reality, the size is like 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes. Okay, so you just have to remember that, because here we just cannot have terabytes here, but you get the idea, and the commands work exactly the same. Okay. Okay, so we look at ZMPT1, it's out of space, right? So we do VGS ZMPT1, and we're looking at it here. So we have 3 physical drives, and it has a 4 partition in it, and then it has only 1 gigabyte of disk space is free here. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna simply use a VG. This is a new command, VG extend, EXTEND. Okay, ZMPT1, and then dev slash SDE. Okay, it's gonna give us error. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, it didn't. It didn't give us an error. That's a good thing. Okay, so now what we have here is 3 physical volumes here. Okay. So actually I skipped one step here. What you're supposed to be doing is, for the new disk, you're supposed to be doing PV create. And then you do PV create. What is PV create? PV create is physical volume. Physical volume create /dev /SDE, and then VG extend ZMPT1 and dev /SDE. Okay. All right. So let's take a look here. So we do VG display ZMPT1, and you see it here that the free space is now it's up to 40 GB. Okay, and 23 is being used, and 17 GB is free, which makes sense because the 1 GB is already there, and we added another 16 GB here. Okay, now all this is going to be same here. Okay, So now what we have is we got a problem here that one of the disk is failing. Let's fail a disk here. We're gonna have to remove one disk out of this proportion here. But as you see, what's happening is we're gonna take off SDC as a little complicated because it has three partitions on it. SDC is failing here, okay? So we get an alert that SDC is failing, and we need to remove SDC out of this volume group here. So how are we gonna do that? Okay, so what we did is we added the new disk using VG extend. So we have only 4 disks here. SDE is going to replace SDC. Okay, let's take a look here. And do df-h. So when we remove this, all these things won't get affected, okay? And if it's running some high-end application, it shouldn't affect what we're gonna do now, okay? But be careful. This is a pretty important, and you'll be doing this. If you mess up, it's gonna be very dangerous. Okay, so it's easy command. Put it on a paper what you're gonna be doing it, but don't panic. But do it how you could. I mean, this thing you would be doing with your team members, okay? Make sure you verify what you're doing, all this, and verify with your team members here, okay? All right, very good.
So I have a question, Zafar Bhai. How would you know that SDC is failing?
There is actually a monitoring team that monitors those.
Okay.
Those people are in India. They'll send you the ticket. They have on production boxes. Everything is monitored. They never go to sleep. They are there 24/7. It's called command center. They are monitoring the data center activity, and especially the production boxes. They're monitoring all the time. There are a lot of monitoring tools here. One thing I'm going to tell you is whenever you there are hundreds of monitoring tools out there. Tivoli is one of them, which is by IBM, and there are all those things here. So when the monitoring set up, they set up the monitoring for CPU, memory, swap, disk utilization, and all those are set up as a thresholds, right? So what they do is, okay, this drive is 8 GB and is being used, and then it's available, and then let's keep a alert when it reaches 70% or 77%. Usually 77%. If it reaches 77%, the monitoring tool, what it does, it will cut an auto ticket and send it to the technician in command center. They will look at it, and then they will see, okay, this is a production box and it's at 77%. So now is the time for somebody to take a look at it. So the ticket usually comes to you. Okay, you are the one who's going to look at it, and there is a level of ticket. Is going to be severity in there. If it's a very critical application, then it will start from 0 to 3 or 4. 0 is very, very high. Nobody can wait for it. You have to start working right now. And if you're on call, you will get a call 2 a.m. in the morning. You have to get up, log in, and start working on it right away. Okay. Then if it's the ticket is it has P1 in it, priority 1, then you have to start working right away too. P2, you could chill on it. P3, you could let it sit on it for 4 or 5 days before somebody bugs you. and P4, somebody won't bother you if it's sitting for a month. And then in your queue, you will have like 10 or 12 tickets in your queue to work on, and you have to come in every day and check which ones you have to work on first. And then other ones you could work if you have time.
Okay, so just make sure, check the priority, which one is come first.
Yeah. And
Okay.
you check if it's a network issue. You check there is no problem on your side, Linux side. If it's a network issue, you transfer the ticket to network team, and it's out of your queue, so you don't have to worry about it. And it will alert the networking team. So all this, it's called operations, and it is very important that there is a separate operation teams who's doing that, but you don't have to sit there and monitor and all those. Yeah. And those would require some Linux skills operations. But if somebody calls you and asks you it's an operation job, you have to sit in like a command center or something, I would say decline that job. Don't take those jobs, because your skills will be stuck in one place. All you have to do is just log in and see which drive is having issues, and you won't have a root access for that job either. And it pays less, and you will end up working night shift or something. So don't do that.
I got it.
Okay, now that we have this here, so what we're going to do is we find out SDC is a mess. So we just can't simply remove FDC and just hope SDE will take it over. But you have to use the PV move command. Okay. All right. So how are we going to do that? It's simple. What you do is you type PV move. So what we're doing is we're moving the physical volume. Okay. And then you type dev/SDC/ dev/SDE. Okay. And then you hit enter. So what it's gonna do is gonna replicate what SDC has. It's gonna replicate on SDE.
So what is offered by the SDC in actual environment, the physical disk in use?
It's in use right now.
Or is in use right now? Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. This is what you guys been getting paid for. Once you get a good knack of this commands, it's going to be piece of cake for you. Easy commands. But these commands will freak other people out, and they just don't go into the Linux as their career. But once you have a good hang of it, most of the time you'll be chilling out, and then when you get to work, you just run one command and go away and come back, and it will be ready for you. And the new disk should be either the same size or bigger size, okay? For obvious reasons. If it's a smaller size, then it's not going to work. Okay, so let's do DFFNH. And there is no change here, okay? And do LSVLK. Okay, now you see SDC is orphan now. And everything that SDC has, it has been replicated on SDE. Okay, let's take a look up here. Okay, so it has accounting, DM2, DM3, and DM5. Okay, DM2, DM3, DM5 is SDE. Now it's a situation as if SDC never existed. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to remove it from the group. Okay, if you do VGS is still showing 4 physical volume. It's still showing 17 GB free. Okay, and then LV, it has 4 partitions. So the command to do is VG reduce. Okay, and then you have to give the volume group name ZMPT1, and then which one you want to reduce, dev/SDBC. Okay, very careful here. Don't mess up.
Yeah.
Okay, and hit enter here. All right, let's do LSVLK. This is still going to be there, but if you do VGS ZMPT1, now we have only 3 disks in there, and the size is the free is about 9 GB. So 30 GB. Yeah, it makes sense because the new disk is about 16 GB. Was 16 GB, right? Yeah, and the free space was 17 GB. So 9 GB is there. All right, I'm curious here. I'm going to run this command and see what will happen. Okay, so physical volume is still in use. So okay, there is a safeguard notifying that it's still in use. So I think the PV move command will also let the system know that that is being that disk is not going to be used. All right, so let me just copy the commands here. Okay, so okay, now move. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, so now what is this going to do? This will move the LVM structure, data, and also block information. So in other words, it may be doing the replication. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now to reduce. Okay. All right. Any question now?
So when you do the VG reduce, that just goes back to the original. What is? Did it just make the drive smaller, the size?
No, no, it's not small. Doing it. It's just reducing means removing it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Apparently there is a remove command too. Volume group. You could use VG remove also. Okay. So you have force. Yeah, it doesn't have remove the missing to make volume group metadata consistent again. Okay. Yeah, I never use it, so I always use VG reduce. That's much better. I mean, that's what is stuck in my head, so that's what I'm using all the time. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna destroy what we have done so far. ZMPT1. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to remove all this from here, and then see if it's gonna crash the system. Okay. So what you have to do first is remove it here. I'm gonna, all these things are mounted here, so the easy way to do is you mount -A. Alright, when you do df-h, it's not there. But what you have to do is, I'll show you later. Okay. So now we're gonna go into the reverse order. Okay. Okay, so what is the command to do it? The command to do is VG remove. So what we're doing is we are removing the volume group here. And I'm going to type ZMPT1. Okay, it's telling you, do you really want to remove the volume group containing 4 vertical volumes? Yes. Okay, and I'm going to say yes. And okay, so it's asking for each of them. Okay, let's do VGS.
But Zafar, could we have given the -y switch to avoid this providing y for each volume?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the volume group is gone. So what will happen on the physical drive? The data is there or it's gone?
Please, so data should be over there because you remove the group, not the data.
Yep, the data is still be there. All right, that's the assignment for you guys. Put some huge data there, and then see if it's gonna still be there. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and let's see here. Let me here. Okay, wait. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and remove the physical volume in here. Okay, so if this is why am I doing this here? Because you will have a decommission of servers. The servers, sometimes the physical servers, they run for like 3 to 5 years, and after that, it's being decommissioned because all these big companies, they are leasing the servers here. Some of them buy them. If they buy them, they may extend the life to 8 years. But if it's being leased, usually it comes off of the lease after 3 to 5 years. So you have to, when you are working on a decommission, you are pretty much safe here to run all these commands because it's been decommissioned. And before you do that, you do your due diligence and check the database. You would have a list of database. I'm sorry, you would have all the list of servers in the database, and you check in the database that it has been decommissioned. And usually this end up being a project. Okay, so if they have to decommission 1,200 servers, it's going to take some time, and it has to be a part of a project and budget and everything. So once you guys get notified that the server need to be decommissioned, you log in there and you run all these commands. Okay. So how are we going to do that? It's easy. We did pv create, right? We did the pv create. So now the command is pv remove. And then you do dev /sdc sdb. Okay, the physical volume is removed. C is already gone, so but I'm going to run it again and see what happens. Okay, so now you could see it's actually wiping it off. Now at this moment the data is gone. Deleting the data using these commands in Linux, and if you want to try to recover using a third-party software, is going to be very, very difficult here. I don't think it's going to be that easy for you. Once you run this command, Uh, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be very difficult to get the data back, but I'm sure there may be some ways to do it.
Well, there's some tools in Windows for sure. I know that once you break the partitions, even you format it, you can recover the partitions back. I mean, you can recover all the data back on the Windows.
Yeah.
I had upgraded Windows 7 to Windows 10, and I was not able to recover anything from my documents.
Did you try to attach to a recovery software?
I had given the task to my enterprise infrastructure team. I had Googled by myself as well. I got admin permission on my laptop, tried everything, but was not able to recover.
It was on the partition?
No, it was on local laptop. So I upgraded from Windows 7 to Windows 10 OS, and the whatever I had in my
Upgrade
documents.
process, you lost some data?
Yeah, everything.
Oh. Well, I think now if you're upgrading to 10, it's keeping the data. Yeah, I think there is an option. Either you could do clean install or upgrade. But in all, it's a mess here. It's better to keep things on a
Yep.
separate. So that's why there is a storage team out there, and I think those are highly paid too. SAN storage. What is this? EMC, right? EMC is the big name. Okay, see, I think these are all rows and rows of storage here. So all the backup and everything is done here, and all this is being handled by a different team, okay? So you don't have to worry about it. But if you want, you could go in there, and it's a good high-paying job too, storage. Okay, so I I found one picture here. These are others. These are the extra commands you could try it out. Okay, so if you have time, you could play around, and then these are the extra things you could do. I found this picture online, and I think it's pretty informative. And then you could do all these switches here. It will display. Uh, you do LVS, and it will give you information. If CS is give you physical volume information and all this here. And it's also doing extend, reduce, resize, merge, convert, import, export, import clone. Uh, these are all the other options here, but I'm not sure you would end up using it. I myself is not using it as much. The commands I showed you, I'm using those commands a lot compared to anything else in here. Okay, so this is really important. I mean, I would say do as much as you want, and also you could create a swap partition using LVM too. Did I show you that? Yeah. But no, I'm not. I mean, you get the idea, right? It's a similar thing as here. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me see if I have the instruction. I'll just show you how to create a swap here. Okay. Okay, so I have a swap here, and which is running out. So I'm going to create a new physical volume. PV create slash dev slash SDB. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is VGS. Mhm. Okay, so what I'm going to do is LV create swap, and then I'm going to do it from slash dev slash SDB. Okay, please specify either the size. Oh, okay. All right, so I need to go refer here. Okay, I have to create VG first. Volume group create. Okay, and then slash dev swap dev slash SDB. Okay, and then you will create LV create. LV create hyphen N, and then you type EX extended swap. extended swap hyphen L, and how much you want to give, about 2 GB, and then you could give it from the volume group here. So what is the volume group we give? Swap. Okay, and the process is the same as swap here. Create okay, once you do that, you there are no instructions here.
I think they're more at the bottom past the information on the swap.
Oh,
Yeah, you swap on, swap off.
yeah, okay. All right, so you use the command mkfs. Okay, mkswap, sorry. mkswap, and then you give the name here. So dev/sdb. Is this a correct command? No, right? So we have to give the volume group name. And then the name of the swap, ext swap. So right now over here, what we did was we gave the partition information here, right? But here we have to give replace that with the volume information, LVM information. Okay, hit enter. Okay, it centralized is created here. Let's do LSVLK. Okay, and right now it's acting as a swap partition here. And let's do BLK ID, and then the type is swap. This is the type is equal to swap. Okay, and then what is the command? Swap on. Before that we do free -h, and it's only 815 megabits. So I type swap on. Okay, and hit enter. Oh, I think it's a different command, right? Swap on, and then I have to give that information here. Swap on /dev/swap, then swap ext swap. Swap on /dev/swap. Okay, and so when I do DFF and H, it should have increased, right? So it did increase. So it increased to 4 GB. The size has increased to 4 GB. I mean, extra 4 GB is there. No, I'm sorry, free -h. So we gave the 2 GB, so we added 2 GB, 2.8 GB. So this is, you could definitely use the LVM to create swap. You could have used over here too, no problem. I should have done that before destroying this. Okay. Let's see what else.
But Zafar, in the few of the beginning classes, you had gone through a high-level list of topics that you intend to cover. If we could have that, I don't think so. It is in the course contents.
Oh no, we have a lot of other topics too. Which one you're referring to?
Well, I recall that in the first few classes we had gone through the topics in Linux, and then towards the end you intend to cover AWS, etc. So within Linux there was topics which we are covering one by one now, and there are a few more which are left. So that course content kind of thing, from high level.
Oh, no, we have a lot of other. I mean, we are not even done. We have 2 more months to go on Linux. 3 more months.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying, that you had a list of content which you want to cover in 4 or 5 months, basically.
Yeah, yeah. So, do you want something covered now?
No. I'm saying if we know, or if you can share that list of high-level contents,
Oh, okay.
which we will be covering in future, basically.
Yeah. Let me.
Not right now, maybe some other time.
Yeah, I'm thinking I have a half hour, so I'm thinking
Okay.
which one should I cover today?
Okay.
Because we are
gives...
done with LVM here, but there are a lot of other stuff within LVM you could play around. One other thing in LVM is when you do DFF and H. Right now, only the root is mounted to one of these LVMs here, right? So sometimes you will get in the production environment that you go into /root and then you do ls-l. What some of the servers you will see is all this, especially the OPT is mounted on LVM. OPT will have its own LVM there. So let's see what OPT is for. OPT is for, it will have
third party?
Yeah, third-party applications like Oracle and all that. So most of the time you would end up seeing OPT being a bigger size than what you see here. Bigger size is as big as 32 GB. Okay, so you got to keep in mind that sometimes OPT is bigger in size, and then the var log, because the logs are being thrown in there. So where is var? This, yeah, OPT and var, they would be like a bigger, they would be mounted separately from the root. Okay, but all these things they have to do when the server is being built. So you have to sit down with the application team and determine what size is necessary for you. And they say okay, don't need it. They're not sure, so you have to do some research and find out which application they're using, and then based on that you give them the size. But anyway, once it's mounted on LVM, you could extend LVM anytime. Okay, so let's see here. Let me do LS. All right, let me see if I could find the picture. Okay, so that what I'm talking about, I'm not able to do a good demo here, but you get the idea, right? All these files, if they are mounted within root, but you could mount separately also on LVM because the size will keeps getting bigger in size. So mounting on one place is not uh, beneficial for the system. So what it does is you will need to have it mounted separately on LVM. I'll try to find a picture and then put it in a chat, okay? So if you install like Oracle or something, all those data files, all those Oracle related files goes in here. And sometimes it gets bigger in size. Okay, so let me quickly cover. Okay, so we are done with LVM here. Any questions?
So regarding swap, but we can have a swap partition, we can have a swap LVM, and we can have a swap file, right? We can have three things, right?
Yeah.
And there are different performance consideration for all those three.
Yep. Um, you would get a lot of tickets regarding swap. You could get a lot of tickets regarding memory, disk space, and network issues. Network is broken or slow, and unreachable. The host you cannot even ping it, anything like that. You get those. Okay, and things like that. Next week, I'm gonna try to focus on the Yum repository. Maybe I need to make sure I have the good lab set up before that here. Maybe not next week, following week, I would think of working on that one. Okay, okay, let's do this here. Okay, okay. Right now, I did df-h is nothing mounted, right? But let's go into cat etc fs tab, and we have so many things mounted in here. Okay, we have so many things mounted, or we have so many uh, mount and mount points are registered in fs tab here. So can somebody tell me what will happen when we restart the system?
Nothing is going to happen because these will be ignored.
Okay. All right, let's try it out if it's going to happen then. Okay, so no, this is not the one. Okay, so this is the same box here. Let me restart.
The system's gonna give you the error. It's gonna look for the FSTag file, check all the entries, but it's not gonna find those volumes. So it's gonna give you the error definitely.
Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, you're right. What happened here now is system is system is halting itself. It's gonna halt itself because it's looking for this anything in FS tab. It will look for it, and anything in FS tab has gone missing because we destroyed all this here. We destroyed all these three things here, and it's a major issue as far as the system is concerned. Okay, so it's telling me to type the password here, so I'm typing password. Okay, and I'm here. So I'm here, right? Okay, let me go ahead and reconnect. Okay, the system is up, but I'm not able to connect here. Okay, so what are you gonna do? Okay, you're gonna find out which run level the system is in.
2.
Okay, so it's saying unknown here, but it's in the safer mode here. So let me see. Who-r. Okay, actually it's in run level 1. Okay, so what is run level 1? We have discussed that run level 1 is for troubleshooting, correct?
Yeah, not network connectivity.
Okay, so this is not network connected and all this here. So this, it goes into run level 1 because of the system is trying to save itself from even further damage. It goes into this level here, and you will definitely get a ticket that you are stuck here. And if it's a high security or a highly maintained production box, you will have to start working in the middle of a night. Okay, so let's see what is happening here. So we determine that this is the FS tab issue.
But I have a quick question here with run level 1. So, I mean, we always connect to these servers remotely. So, if there's no network connectivity available to that server, how people connect remotely to that server?
Very good question. Very good observation here. So you have to determine if this is a virtual box. If this is a virtual box, most of the time it would be running on VMware. Okay, so let's take a look here. We're gonna learn towards the end of the class. So what you do is you will have a login here, and you have all these boxes here. These are all the servers here. You go in there and you click in there, and then you could access this as if you're accessing it physically. You're standing in front of the server.
Okay, so we will have connectivity to VMware.
Yeah.
That will simulate a physical connection to server. Okay.
Yeah. And right now, the VMware you can relate it to VirtualBox.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna install, and then we're gonna play around on VMware for a couple of days. Okay. So you won't be a full-time admin in here, but you will be using VMware for troubleshooting. And if it's what if it's a physical box? If it's a physical box, then you connect using IBM. If it's an IBM console. So what this is IBM has this has HNC here. These are 2 ports here, and 1 port is always connected here, and this is the little box. It's called HNC, Hardware Management Console here. This is also a remote box, but this is attached extra to the servers here. These are the bigger cabinet here. You see the server, and this box is there too. That is also maintained by the hardware team. And then if you cannot connect to directly there, there is another connection called HMC. So it's outside the physical server. Okay, you connect to that. Once you connect to that, you would be in a situation as if right now. You would be as if you're standing in front of the server. Okay, and then for HP, it's ILO, I think. Okay, for HP, it's called ILO, Integrated Light Out, and it's a device that is attached physically to the HP servers here. And then you could go in there, and then there are so many things in there. It has its own IP you could manage in there, and you would be as if standing in front of the physical server here. Okay, this is nothing to relate with Linux, but these are the tools you would be using day in and day out. The most thing you would just relate to is VMware, because a lot of other environment out there are running on VMware. If not, then it's running on EC2, AWS. Okay, so let's so we are not able to do putty here, right? Okay, you know what, let me restart here. Let me restart, and then I want to go over this again. Okay, let's analyze this here. It's telling you that fsck.ext for no such file or directory will while trying to open dev mapper. So you could see here that it's telling you to go in there, and it's telling you to zmpt1 human resource. So it's trying to read that here, and then recruiting is trying to read the recruiting here. Okay, and all that here. It probably did for the other one too, so we can't see it in here, but it did for all these three things here. So what is it doing here? Okay, so let me start this as a new topic. So we have this called FSCK. What is it? It stands for File System Check. Okay. So what does FSCK does? It checks the file system if it encounters the errors and booting issue. Okay, why is system doing that? Okay, the system is obviously pretty complex. It's running a lot of things simultaneously. But when it was time to mount the drives here, all of a sudden the mount drives are missing. Okay, so what is happening here? Okay, so let's take a look here. Over here, it says the priority here. it's asking us to, if we would have put in the 00 here, a 0 is a dump file, and then 2 here is the priority of file system check. So we could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What it's doing here is it's going to check the file system in the order. Okay, this is what it exactly did. We set the order to check the file system as a secondary task on its file system check. Okay, so but we put it here 0, right? If we would have put 0 here, it would have skipped that. If we put 0 here, it would have skipped that. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and play around a little bit here and see what exactly is happening here. Okay, so it's telling me to enter the password here. So let me type the password. Okay, I type the password, and then I know I'm in single user mode. Okay, so the problem is fs tab. So let me go into vi/etc/fs tab, and then what I could do here is, what is the best thing I could do here since this doesn't exist?
Simply just remove it.
Yep, you're right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go insert, and then I'm going to comment out. Okay, now here I did this on purpose. It's telling you it's a warning, cleaning a file read only. Okay, so the file is read only. I don't think we could.
We are logged in with root. Why the file is read only visible?
Very good observation. Okay, this we're gonna go back to the boot initialization, system initialization here. Let's go let's go analyze this here. Okay. Okay, so system initialization, what it's doing is going through all these things here. Okay, is going through all these things here, and then one of them here is it remounts the file system in read-only mode. Okay, so why is it doing that? That's a built-in safeguard that it has here. So it goes, all these things are in a process. One thing is leading to another thing here. So these files are responsible for the system initialization. What will happen is this file initializes and passes control to this file, and after that this file passes control, and this file is executed here. Okay, so we'll see here that this file has built-in instructions, and it's built-in binary, the machine language. We tried to go in there and then try to read it. We couldn't. Remember that. So it has built-in instructions here. So the BIOS passes per control to bootloader. So all the stages is happening here, right? And then it goes to the grub. And then in grub, it has right here. The kernel detects all the hardware, initializes the software for hardware, drivers in Windows World 2, Mod Pro for this, and mounts the root file system into read-only mode. and kickstart the init process. So init process is going through all this here, and then it remounts the. So it does in read-only mode, and it goes through all this process. Then it remounts the process into read-write mode. Okay, so why is it in read-only mode? Because it still is stuck here at init tab. What is init tab? Init tab, it reads the which file, which run level the system need to be booted in. Okay, and then it reads the init sysinit script is executed. So all those things are leading to one thing to another, but we are stuck at this place here because we are mounting the drivers here. We are mounting the hardware here. So now the physical hard drives are gone. So the system has halted here. System has halted here, and it won't be able to go into the read-write mode here. Okay, so this is the beauty here, that the system is stopping for before further damage is being done. Okay, so I got out of there. So there is a really important command here. Once you go into the read-only mode, what you have to do is you have to make it read-write. Okay, you have to make it go into the read-write mode. Okay.
So Zafar, since system was started in run level 1 by itself, if we start the system run level 1, will it go to read-only mode as well, or in that case it will go to read-write mode?
It will go to rewrite mode.
Okay.
Let's check it out. Okay, so the system is still in read mode. The system is still in read mode here, but the root file system is in read-write mode. Okay, let me rephrase that. Here, right here, it says root file system into read-only mode. Okay, so where is the init tab? Where is the FS tab in the root, right? So that's where we are trying to go here. So let me highlight that. Okay, did it make sense now? So regardless, if we go into CD here, and then we do ls, and then we do mkdir, the access should be denied. Mkdir root 1. Okay, it says cannot create a directory root 1. It's a read-only file system. Okay, very good. So how are we going to do that? We're going to run a command mount -o. Okay, remount comma rw/sysroot. Okay, this is the command to make the system read-only. I mean, read-write mode. Somebody's pinging. Okay, so let me hit the command here. You must specify the file system type. Mount -o remount read-write. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to type sysroot. You just have to type /root. Okay, so let's try to let's go try to vi/etc/fs tab. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna comment it out. Okay, it saved itself, and I'm gonna restart here. So what's gonna happen now? Is the system gonna come into is gonna go mood normally, or what's gonna happen?
Oh yeah, it's gonna go normal now since you committed those lines in the file. So it will check the file system and it will pass.
Yes. Very good.
Have you noticed? It just takes time a little bit.
Okay, now you can type property. Okay. Okay, now I'm still unsatisfied here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna still play around with this. All right. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna bring this back, and here I'm gonna put it 0. Okay. All right. Let's see what's gonna happen in this situation. Okay. So it seems like it came up good here, and it's going into Okay. So why is it not halting even though if you look at etc fs tab, okay, so even though this is not commented out, that means it's reading through this here, but it's not reading it through it because at the end we put down as 0 it will skip, and if you put down anything 1 and above, 1 2 3 4, it will check that file system in that order. Okay. All right. Are you guys still with me? Anybody?
Yeah, we're with you.
Okay. So you could see how you could fix the system with simple commands and one-liner. So this is the beauty of Linux here. Everything is file-based. Everything is file-based.
Zafar, a quick question. Will you put that command and mount command you put for the troubleshooting in the notes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Sure. All right. I think we are out of time. So you guys have a good day or good long week.
You do the same. You take care.
Thank you, Zafar. Bye. Take care.
All right. Love you.